Hi guys, this is Hecurator, and I'm going to be giving you my predictions for Group A for the Paris Major. Before we get started, I would like to let everyone know that the top two teams out of each group will come out of this and will be one of the final 8 teams in the Paris Major. The first team we'll look at is Team Liquid. Their current roster is Zig, Bullet, Sexy Cake, Nesk, and PSK. They are currently coming off a fantastic win at Atlantic City, and they are looking strong as they are currently number 1 in Pro League standings in Latin America region, with a 3-round differential advantage over Immortals. With their only loss coming from FaZe, I believe they are primed to make another strong run and will compete to win the Paris Major. The second team we'll look at is Team Vitality. Their current roster is Zephyr, Brid, Spark, Rafael, and Bibu. In the current Pro League standings, they are number 6 in the European region. While they are lower in the standings than we would have predicted, I think they are coming off 2 strong performances versus G2, formerly known as Pentasports, which ended in a 5-5 draw, and versus Team Secret, formerly known as I Don't Know, which ended in a 4-6 loss. Both of those teams are considered top tier teams and show that Vitality is a team that can hang with the best in the world. The third team we'll look at is Obey Alliance. After shaking up their roster from the previous season and adding both Skies and Adam, and then adding Benji after their first game of Season 8, their current roster is Benji, Skies, Adam, Bosco, and Mudman. After adding Skies and Adam, Obey now had the pressure to perform that they didn't have in Season 7. It has been a rough start for Obey. After 3 roster changes in only a couple months, they were able to pull off a tie with Rogue and Mouse, and were able to beat Noble. I do believe the best of 1 map system has hurt them, as in the NA Paris qualifiers, they were in a best of 3 series and then they were able to win. I don't think that is an excuse for them to use, as everyone is being affected by this, but I do think Obey is one of the teams that is hurting from it the most. The final team we'll look at is Noarango. I'll try to do my best to pronounce their names correctly. Their current roster is Shin, Crazy Papillon, Waka, Mariu, and JJ. Unfortunately, I have not been able to watch any of their games, but they are number 1 in APAC Japan Pro League region, with a 9-1 record, their only loss coming to RSK. If you are wondering why their schedule and standings look a bit different, APAC does run their Pro League region with a different rule set than NA, EU, or Latin America. They use a best of 2 system, but each game is recorded. I do not have a lot of info on Noarango, but basing an educated guess off their current standings in the APAC Japan region and their performance at Atlantic City, I think Noarango has upset potential, but getting out of Group A will be a challenge. The first matchup of Group A will be Team Liquid versus Team Vitality. I think this is a great matchup for both teams. It is good for the first match for Team Liquid, as they will be facing a challenging team to get the team rolling in the group stage, and it is a good first match for Vitality, as they get to prove to the world that they belong here at the Paris Major. Only one team has ever won back-to-back LAN events, and that's G2 back in Season 4 and Season 5. For Vitality, I think they're in a win-win situation. If they beat Liquid, I think their chances of making the Final 8 is extremely high, and they'll show the world how good they really are, even if they're not showing in the Pro League standings. If they lose to Liquid, no offense to Vitality, but it is expected from this matchup, and won't shift the public view on Vitality. They still have a very good chance at making it out of Group A, even if they lose this game versus Liquid. Vitality is the type of team to pinch roamers hard, then stop and gather themselves. They get their drones in position, they make necessary rotates and position themselves in the best possible way they think they can win the round, with one final push. Liquid is an ultra aggressive team that hunts down roamers fast, but is not prone to sticking to one planned pre-round read. If they see a weakness, they will exploit it with their amazing fragging potential. I believe this matchup will go distance. I predict Team Liquid will win 2-1 versus Team Vitality. I see Vitality starting off strong, winning map 1, but then I see Liquid getting going on map 2, and then we'll wrap it up on map 3. The second matchup of Group A will be Obey Alliance versus Norarango. I think this matchup means a lot for both teams, as they both have a lot to prove to the world that they belong at the Paris Major. A win here would go a long way for Obey's confidence going forward in this tournament. While Norarango find themselves at the top of APAC Japan, they are still a relatively unknown team, and they have a lot to prove that they can compete with teams from NA, EU, and Latin America. Obey this season has been a slow starting team. The only reason they were able to win the Paris Major qualifiers, I believe, was because they had a best-of-3 system in that tournament. I think that will help Obey a lot as they learn their playstyle of their opponent. I can't go into much detail about Norarango sadly, as I just don't have enough info on them. That being said, I do see Norarango winning 2-1 versus Obey Alliance. I see Norarango taking the first map, then Obey taking the second map, and then I see both teams battling it out on map 3, but I see Norarango closing it out with the victory. For the winners bracket, to decide who gets to guarantee their spot in the final 8 teams for the Paris Major, we have Team Liquid versus Norarango. This matchup I believe will be a swift victory for Team Liquid. Coming off a tough victory versus Team Vitality, I believe they will be in their groove and at full force that they had at Atlantic City. Unfortunately for Norarango, I don't see them having any chance at winning versus Liquid. I predict that Team Liquid wins 2-0 versus Norarango. For the first round of the losers bracket, we have Obey Alliance versus Team Vitality. I believe this will be a very exciting match to watch as both teams are in a win or go home situation. Both teams tend to use up the whole clock on attack, so I think it will be a very long and grueling game. I predict that Team Vitality wins 2-1 versus Obey Alliance. I see Vitality's playstyle being a challenge for Obey in the first map, but then I see Obey tying it up in the second map. I do think Vitality is the superior team, and I see them closing out in map 3 for the victory. For the final match of Group A, to see who will be in the final 8 for the Paris Major, we have Team Vitality versus Norarango. Team Vitality will be coming off a strong victory versus Obey Alliance, while Norarango will be coming off a big loss from Team Liquid. I believe both teams will be pulling out the entire strat book for this game, and it will not be a disappointment. That being said, I predict that Team Vitality wins 2-1 versus Norarango and guarantees their spot in the final 8 teams for this Paris Major. In conclusion, I predict Team Liquid and Team Vitality will be the winners of Group A, and Obey Alliance and Norarango will be Group A's losers. That means Team Vitality and Team Liquid will be in the final 8 for the Paris Majors, and Obey Alliance and Norarango will have to be going home. This has been my predictions for Group A of the Paris Major. Hope you enjoy it. If you have any comments or questions, you can leave them below in the comment section. Like if you liked the video, subscribe if you want to see more, and thank you for watching. I'll be holding